Hey guys, this is Shannon with Nearly Organic Noshing, and I'm happy to be one of the June presenters for Frugal Family Food. If you're not familiar with Frugal Family Food, it was created by Tangi over at Freedom Homestead, along with Amanda from the Fundamental Home. And they created the group to help people to eat well on a budget. In addition to the YouTube collaboration, there is also a Facebook group which is over 100,000 members strong. So I will link Amanda's channel, Tangi's channel, and the Facebook group down in the description box below. Definitely check out the Facebook group. Everyone is always posting videos and recipes, and there's a couple of other spin-off groups in addition to the regular Frugal Family Food Facebook group, so definitely check it out. This month, the month of June, is all about summertime fun. Grilling, smoking, cookouts, eating outdoors. And on top of it, in the month of June is Father's Day. And I am lucky enough to be able to do the Father's Day video. Our video is all about cooking from food storage. Now we are cooking for a large crowd, and we're doing it all from food storage with no money out of pocket for this in particular event. Everything has been purchased in the past, and it was either preserved in the fridge, freezer, pantry, or I've put it up canning, or it came from the garden. So this was zero out-of-pocket expense for this meal. So we are going to be doing ribs, we're going to be doing corn on the cob, we're going to be doing sweet potatoes, even a homemade baked apple pie, all on the smoker. Now, I am not great with the smoker and the grill, so Chris will be helping me out on the smoker because he is an expert at it, and he will give you a lot of tips and tricks along the way of how to best utilize your smoker. Ours is a homemade smoker, and he'll tell you the different components that make it up and what he has found to make it work best. In addition to myself presenting for this month, last week was the Chronicles of Luis and Raquel. Next week will be One Mom, Two Girls, Two Boys, 8 in all. The following week will be Dollar Dude, and I will make sure to link their channels in the description box below. So come along with us as we cook entirely from our food storage, and the ribs that we have on the smoker I purchased previously when they were on rollback for, I believe, $1.84 a pound. I do not buy things unless they are on sale, on clearance, unless they are great deals. So the ribs I purchased months ago and put them in the freezer. The corn on the cob, which we're doing on the smoker, I put up 4 bushels of corn last summer. So this is last summer's corn that I pulled out of the freezer, and we have it on the smoker. Sweet potatoes from the garden. Let's see, the apple pie was from food storage. We also served applesauce with our meal, and homemade muscadine juice, in addition to deviled eggs. Everything food storage, and the chickens and the garden. So I will make sure to link videos for making all of those. So come along with us as we cook out on the smoker and cook everything from food storage. All right, let's go. 300?
300 degrees, okay.
300.
Okay, we're going to smoke up 4 racks of spare ribs. And just rinse them down cleanly. The smoker brought it up to about 300 degrees to kill anything moving or any bacteria or anything. And just putting some rub on here. This rub is made by Pork U, and it's called I Like Pig Butts, and I Cannot Lie.
It's very good.
Yeah, this is good stuff. So we're just going to spread this around here.
Today, I think you're just doing a dry rub, right? You're not going to do a sauce on them?
Yeah, just a dry rub.
And these are ribs that I picked up on sale. Whenever I see ribs on sale or meat on sale, I pick it up, put it in the freezer. I think I got these for $1.64 a pound, and so when I saw it on sale, I picked up 4 racks. and put them in the freezer. So I knew later, lots of holidays always coming up and backyard gatherings that we would need ribs for. So these are from our food storage. And this is a homemade smoker. Whenever he closes the lid, I'll show you what the top looks like. And then he can explain a little bit about why we have the heat blanket and things like that on it.
Okay, so we got them seasoned up, and got our smoker going, the fire established in here. I'm gonna let this warm up to about 225 degrees and try to keep it as close to that. And we'll let them smoke for about the next 2.5 hours. Okay, the smoker it's handmade. The smoke chamber is made out of a fuel tank from a semi-tractor. It's aluminum, so it won't rust, but the downside is that it's like a big radiator, so to hold the heat, I use a welding blanket to help hold the heat in a little better, so we don't have to throw so much wood at it. And the firebox, which is back here, this is made out of a beer keg, which is stainless steel. So it's a cut down beer keg, and I just opened up an area down here and made a shutter that I can open it and close this to control the airflow. And then the rest is just some aluminum tubing for some stacks, and these are things you just get from Tractor Supply for the cool factor. So got the fire going in there, and we'll let that smoke for the next 2.5 hours or so. We want to try to keep between 2 and 250. Our target temperature is around 225.
Well, we are still smoking. It is pouring down rain, but the smoker is still going. Okay, Connor, what's the temperature?
220 degrees.
220 degrees? Is that what it's supposed to be?
Ask Chris, I don't know anything about this.
Yep,
Yep, 220.
That's good.
Except for the thermometer. I know everything about it.
Brief lull in the rain. Okay guys, while the smoker is going with the ribs, I have come inside and I'm pulling out a few other ingredients out of the pantry and food storage to go along with dinner. So this is corn that I put up last summer. I put up 4 bushels, some frozen in the husk like this. I did some cut off the husk and like whole kernel in the freezer, and then I canned some. So I just pulled some of these larger ones out. I'm trying to empty the freezers out a little bit so that we have room for more produce. And these guys are gonna go on the smoker in their husks, and they will have a delicious smoky flavor. It'll almost be like grilled corn when it comes out, and we'll serve it with butter and salt. The other thing I pulled out was a handful of sweet potatoes. I keep all of my vegetables and stuff over here, onions, potatoes, that kind of thing, sweet potatoes, squash. So I pulled these out, and I will puncture them and then wrap them up in aluminum foil, and these guys can go on the smoker also, along with the ribs and corn. The other thing I pulled out, and this is mainly for Connor, is this muscadine grape juice. He and I put this up last summer. Grapes are just now forming on the vines here in Florida, little tiny grapes, and they'll be ready in the next month or so. So we are using up some of our grape juice that we did last year. I'm actually going to attempt to do some this year and try and do it with like Swerve or stevia. I have not loved the stevia blends when I have made jelly with it in the past, but someone suggested I try the liquid stevia version and just keep it on the light side and see how that works, because it just made the jelly very bitter in my opinion. So I'm gonna experiment a little bit this summer with some other sweeteners, because I love grape juice, but I don't love all the extra sugar. So, because I am not doing much in the way of white sugar. So that is that. This is apple cider. Mainly pulled that out for the kids also. I believe I'm going to make a apple pie to go on the smoker. So we're going to have smoked apple pie to go along with dinner, and the adults will have coffee, but I'm sure some of the kids would probably like some cider to go along with it, and you can have this cold or hot. I made this from the scraps of my applesauce, which is this right here. This is just some applesauce to go along with dinner. No, I'm also going to do a large salad, and I have lots of veggies and stuff. Some of it is from my garden, some of it is from the farmer's market, but I'm going to do that. And then I have biscuits in the freezer that I bought, oh gosh, probably a year ago when they were on sale, and I picked up a bunch of bags of frozen dough and put it in the freezer. And I know that all the boys will love that. I have not been making bread because I've not been eating bread, so they will love it if I pull some bread out. So I'm gonna go look and see what else I have. Everything is from food storage. I am not buying anything from the store for this meal. So this isn't a zero cost meal because of course I had to purchase the ingredients to begin with, but right now, this meal is not going to cost us anything. It's already been purchased, either freezer, pantry, or our kitchen food storage.
Okay, they've been on about 2.5 hours, maybe a tad more, averaging around 225 to 250 degrees. And you'll know that they're about ready at this point for the next step when you see the meat pulling back from the bone. You can see the bone exposed just a little bit all the way along. You know that they're actually cooked right now. They're just not that tender. So to tender them up, we're going to put them in aluminum foil and just wrap them up. And I'm going to do that with all 4 of these, and then I'm going to seal them up real good, and then we're going to close it up, and we're going to continue for about another hour to hour and a half, and that will really make them fall off the bone tender. And after that, they'll be ready to eat. And that's it.
All right, I'm gonna go get our sides together to put on the smoker. Hey guys, here is the apple pie. We have it on one of these air bake pans because Chris is gonna crank the heat up in the smoker, and so it'll be crispy and smoked. And it's just apple pie filling and pie crust with a lattice top, so the smoke will really get in there and penetrate, and this should be delicious. You know, it's really funny how things work out. I just found out we were having 4 more for dinner tonight than I expected. Jaden called asking if he could bring a friend, and I said, absolutely, sure, no problem. And then another good friend of ours called. Well, actually, Chris went to lunch with him today, and his wife is out of town, and it's just him and the boys, and they were talking on the phone, and Chris invited him to come to dinner tonight, him and his boys. So 2 teenagers and another grown adult. So I was pulling stuff out of the cabinet to go ahead and add to dinner. I pulled a big thing of pasta. I'm gonna make some macaroni and cheese, and then I had canned some maple beans, I don't know, like 4 months ago or so. So I was pulling a couple of jars of maple beans out to go along with the ribs, and I had pulled a thing of brownie mix out, or I was actually looking for the brownie mix. I'm like, I'm gonna make brownies for the teenagers. They will love brownies because we need more than just 1 apple pie. And heard a knock on the door. And what happens? The neighbor, as a thank you, just because we help each other out back and forth, brought us a sopapilla. So it's amazing how things work out. I needed an extra dessert tonight to go along with dinner, and it showed up on the doorstep. So I went ahead and have a pot of eggs boiling for deviled eggs. So I'm gonna make some deviled eggs along with it, and I'm getting ready to get the mac and cheese going and the baked beans. Okay guys, this is our Father's Day dinner. We have the ribs here in the middle, which I need to uncover. Chris went ahead and just cut them all up so that we can easily scoop them out of here and individually sliced. We have homemade mac and cheese, deviled eggs made from our chickens. We have corn from last summer, the maple beans that I canned, I don't know, 4 or 5 months ago, sweet potatoes from the garden. We have veggies, partially garden veggies, partially store-bought, homemade applesauce I canned last year, and some rolls. The rolls were just some frozen dough that I had bought a long time ago and needed to use up, and they're kind of sad looking. But the rest of the dinner looks pretty good. And on top of here, we have our smoked apple pie cooling down. So we will dig into that in a little while. So this is our entire Father's Day dinner made completely from food storage. I spent no money out of pocket at this moment to make this meal. Everything was from food storage and everything was on sale or clearance. I do not buy anything at full cost. So this is dinner. I'm gonna call the guys in to sit down and eat. The rest of the teenage boys are all gonna eat outside, but there's plenty of room in here for the adults. Okay guys, I am dishing dessert up for everybody. This is the smoked apple pie. It's coming out of the pan just beautifully, and that is the sopapilla that our neighbor brought over. It's like a cinnamon with cream cheese. Oh my gosh, it is so good. And this is just some Breyer's ice cream, vanilla ice cream that we had in the freezer. So I'm making everybody's dessert plates and taking them in there while they're watching a little bit of Wrangler Star and knife making. Made it to the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed our Father's Day edition of Frugal Family Food. Again, everyone's links are down in the description box. And if you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. I welcome any and all comments. If you have any suggestions or would like to see something, by all means, let me know. And I hope you enjoyed the video and that all you dads out there are having a wonderful Father's Day.